Yeah, well, they've all been jailed. It is a very significant development here. First of all, I'm going to apologise because you're going to hear a pneumatic drill that is just started up here, which is horrifically loud, but I'll try to persevere. These 9 Insulate Britain protesters, the first of a group of protesters who defied a High Court injunction to carry out protests around the M25 and on other motorways, have come here to the High Court to answer the defiance of that injunction, which is effectively a contempt of court. Well, today the judges, having listened to the arguments of the 9 protesters who believed that they were on the right side, that they were doing it for the right reasons, that they had, as I say, right on their side and would continue, if they were not jailed today, to carry out these protests, disrupting the orbital motorway around London and other key roads in London and elsewhere. We've seen protests in Dover and in Manchester and in Birmingham. Well, the judge has decided that a custodial sentence is the only sentence that they can pass that sends a clear message to these protesters that the courts will not put up with that. So the 9 protesters, most of them jailed for between 3 and 4 months. One of the protesters, described as having taken a more leading role in the protests, has been jailed for 6 months. So a very significant development. I think a lot of people felt that even though they were in contempt of court, which the courts often take very seriously, of course, that coming here they would not be jailed. They would potentially be fined, let off with a warning that if they do it again, they will be jailed next time. But the judges said that while they had, of course, a right to protest, that's got to be balanced against the public's right to be able to go about their daily business. And also there were the aggravating factors, the risk factors in carrying out such protests, such as a risk to the public. There was significant disruption when this group of 9 were in defiance of the protests and carried out their protests on the 9th of October. So that protest, according to the judges, resulted in a significant amount of disruption, but also, the judges said, placed members of the public at risk and members of the police service at risk who were responding to this incident unfolding in the morning rush hour at junction 25 off the M25 on that day. And of course we've had many other protests that have taken place before and since, and Insulate Britain very deliberately saying that if their members were not sent to jail today, they would be going back out and protesting. For Insulate Britain, you know, it's a win-win. Nobody wants to go to jail, but in terms of their campaign, they have 9 people who have gone to jail for their cause, martyred in a sense as far as Insulate Britain is concerned. But of course the courts feel that this injunction has to be taken very seriously, and a contempt of court with the aggravating factors left them with no choice but to impose this custodial sentence.